I have opposed his nomination.
Yeah, from the beginning.
I've opposed it from the beginning. I think the nomination should be withdrawn.
I strongly believe Judge Kavanaugh should withdraw from consideration, and the president should withdraw this nomination if Kavanaugh won't do it voluntarily.
I join Leader Schumer in calling for Judge Kavanaugh to withdraw his name from consideration.
Shocker. We told you this was going to happen. The longer the Republicans allowed Brett Kavanaugh to twist in the wind, the more concessions they granted to his last-minute accusers, the uglier it was going to get. You know, in musicals, the 11 o'clock number always arrives right on time to close out the show? Well, the 11 o'clock number in the Kavanaugh confirmation saga has arrived. Oh, he looks adorable on that stage. So, of course, porn star lawyer Michael Avenatti delivers a gift today. He dropped an affidavit in which this woman, Julie Swetnick, claims that Kavanaugh, while a high school student in the early 80s, spiked drinks at house parties to loosen girls' inhibitions and then essentially groomed them to be gang raped in side rooms. Swetnick further alleges that Kavanaugh was present at one such party in approximately 1982 when she herself was gang raped, though she says he didn't take part in it. Swetnick claims that there are witnesses who can vouch for her account. We haven't heard from them yet. Reacting to these outrageous charges, Kavanaugh today said the following: "This is ridiculous and from the Twilight Zone. I don't know who this is, and this never happened." Now, this is the third in a series of what certainly appears to be a carefully timed and coordinated smear campaign on Kavanaugh. First, there was Christine Blasey Ford, who's still scheduled, as I said, to testify tomorrow morning before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Exactly no one has corroborated her claims, and the polygraph test that she submitted to the Judiciary Committee today, it reads like it was conducted by Cory Booker. We have more on that in a few moments. Then from stage further left came social justice advocate Deborah Ramirez, who claimed that Kavanaugh exposed himself to her during their freshman year at Yale. Ramirez, however, may have exposed the holes in her own salacious story by admitting to friends that she couldn't be quite sure if Kavanaugh was, in fact, the guilty party. Again, there are no corroborating witnesses. Kavanaugh has strenuously denied that it happened, and Ramirez herself admits to being bombed, slurring her words at the time, and she conceded that her memory was, quote, foggy. And then today, we saw a new addition to the playbill, Ms. Swetnick. Now, like the other two heroines of the anti-Kavanaugh resistance, her allegations are already getting bad reviews. She says she attended at least 10 parties where gang rapes were taking place. What? She also says that she went back to one such party in approximately 1982 after knowing that these gang rapes were taking place, where then she herself was raped. And it's important to note, in 1982, she was a sophomore in college. How many college students do you know who attend high school functions where gang rapes had previously occurred? None of it makes much sense at all. But this does. Tonight, we're learning a lot more about Avenatti's new prize, Ms. Swetnick. According to Politico, her ex-boyfriend paints a disturbing picture of her own character. In a phone interview with Politico, he said this about a 2001 injunction. "Right after I broke up with her, Swetnick, she was threatening my family, threatening my wife, and threatening to do harm to my baby at that time. Know a lot about her. She's not credible at all." He said not at all. Wow. Despite all that, of course, the media today did what they always do. Try to make President Trump out to be the bad guy in all of this. Another choreographed performance.
If you don't mind, after I'm finished, if Ouija or Hallie or Vivian or one of our female colleagues could go after me, that would be great.
What does that mean?
I think it would be great if a female.
What does it mean? No, what does it mean?
It would be great if a female reporter would ask you a question about this issue. So if you don't mind,
I wouldn't mind that at all. No, wouldn't mind it at all.
All right. Well, let me. If I
wouldn't make any difference to me.
To follow up on a question that a colleague asked as well. Let me follow up on Jim's question, Mr. President. Let me follow up on Jim's question that I don't think we got an answer to.
There's no collusion there. The president, though, he wasn't rattled by the swarm, and he gave his own kind of instant review of these last-minute theatrics.
It's a very tough situation for a woman. There's no question about it. I'd like to hear a story, yeah. Well, we're giving her time. They're going to have a big shot at speaking and making their case. And you know what? I could be persuaded also. I think when you really look at it all, it's not going to change any of the Democrats' minds. They're obstructionists. They're actually con artists because they know how quality this man is, and they've destroyed a man's reputation, and they want to destroy it even more. And they know it's a big, fat con job. And they go into a room, and I guarantee you, they laugh like hell at what they pulled off on you and on the public. They laugh like hell.
I thoroughly enjoyed this press conference at the UN today. The entire allegation act, I think, is getting old. The last-minute solos are not credible, and the reporter's chorus falling flat. My prediction, after all the hype, after all the bright lights, all of it's faded, after we've heard from the left about this Kavanaugh takedown effort, all of it, this production will close out of town, a total flop. And despite all the hysteria, Kavanaugh will finally get the featured role he deserves, and he's prepared for his entire life. A seat on the Supreme Court of the United States, and I have two words: life tenure. And that's the angle.